How do you build that confidence?
If we were to define what confidence would be, this is my definition. My definition of confidence is you believe what you say. So
Hmm.
if I say I will do X, I believe that I will do X. If I believe I can do X, I believe I can do it. I feel like there's a gap for most people where they're expected to do something or they make promises around doing something and they don't completely believe that they can do it. And that creates, okay, I'm going for this job interview. It's my first job ever as a marketing coordinator. I've just graduated. Sure, I'm confident about my preparation, but I have no idea what it's like to work in corporate. How can I possibly be confident? So there's a little bit of a gap there. So it's about, to what degree do you believe in what you say? That will be confidence. Now the way to build it is, what do I have to supplement with to add more certainty to that? How can I get myself to believe that I can do X, Y, Z? So for me, before I ever worked with a CEO, and there were so many mindset blocks I had to go to, Chirag, just the VP level itself was intimidating enough. How can I convince myself that this will work? For me, it was constantly reminding myself by reading the testimonials of past clients. It was reminding myself that everyone has the same problem, their job title is different. And a really weird, really strange way to deal with my imposter syndrome was, I would just imagine the really successful people that I'm talking to at their worst. So I would imagine them flopping a presentation or not doing well in their relationships or being bankrupt at some point, and it would humanize them. Where I'm just talking to another human being. I'm not talking to the senior partner at XYZ law firm. And that makes it a lot more intimidating. So that's the mindset component. And then what skill gap do you need to bridge that will give you more certainty in your ability? If you feel like, I'm going in for this interview, I'm not confident enough, can you read up enough about the company to feel confident that you know how they operate? Can you read up enough about the job description to know about how they operate? Can you share enough stories about how you reflected the qualities that they're looking for? This just increases the overall level of certainty that you feel. And eventually, Chirag, you get to this point where you've done it enough times, you've talked about it enough times, you've read about it enough times where it's second nature to you. And you know you're confident when one day something hits you in the head and you say, oh, I haven't really been worried about that for a while. I haven't really thought about that for a while. I remember I was really trying to quit sugar for a long time and I just couldn't do it. And eventually I found that one thing that helped me quit sugar for a year and a half. And it was after a year and a half when someone said, hey, what birthday cake do you want? And I said, oh, I don't want a birthday cake. They said, why? Like, I don't eat sugar. I said, oh, how long's that been going on? Like, oh yeah, remember when I used to down all these cookies every day? I completely forgot about that. So with you and your confidence, as you're on the journey to build the skill set that you need, eventually you will reach that point where you have that tipping point. You realize, oh, I didn't know this was an insecurity of mine. I'm now confident. So how can you add repetition? How can you bridge those gaps with the skills that you need?
That's a great perspective. And, something that my father says, which I can put into perspective to this as
Mm,
well, is that champions are made on the practice ground, not during
love that.
the competitions, because you're just turning up there and doing something that you've rehearsed 1,000 times.
Love
So,
that.
whatever you say, nerves, uh, or it can be anxiety, whatever that may be,
Yeah.
it's not there because you've just done it so many times. And that's where you improve, that's how you get better.